I love these titles, like, because, again, you think it's gonna be one thing, and this episode kind of does both with it, because this is Amphibia, this is episode 5B, Breakout Star. And when you hear Breakout Star, you think one thing, and it kind of does both. It does another thing, but it does kind of go both with it. And what I mean by that is Breakout Star is like you have a breakout on your you have a breakout of warts or pimples. Like Anne wakes up one morning and she's just got warts, acne all over her face. Yeah, I'm there with you, Anne. I'm there with you. So obviously Anne is not. Anne doesn't want to be seen, you know, because she's like, I'm hideous. I'm like, trust me, Anne. I'm like, yeah, don't worry, Anne. I've had acne all my life, and look where I am. Yeah, man, it's sad. It's sad. But, I mean, so Anne, obviously, but, no, it's like, yeah, so Anne has acne, and wouldn't you know it, the day that she doesn't want to be out in public and just wants to be hiding in the house is the day that she can't, because the family has to go into town and sell scream beans. Scream beans. Yeah. So, I mean, and, like, Anne also points out prior to that, like, how she already kind of is an outcast, and they show a clip of her walking through town, and everyone's, like, staring at her, some of them are running in fear, and it's interesting, because we've had a few episodes of Anne in the town, and she's interacted with some people, and so I felt like... Actually, am I thinking a few episodes ahead? I just finished episode 7, literally an hour ago, and I'm doing these, so I think I'm already thinking a few episodes ahead, but I mean, we've seen Anne interact with the people, Amphibia, I really don't know what to call the town. Like, we've seen her interact with the town, and I felt like, I mean, I get why they're doing this type of episode, you know, like them acknowledging it. I felt like maybe they should have done it a few episodes, maybe an episode earlier or something. But, you know, just so Anne could... Alright, I'm way off topic. So, they go to the market, and at first is, you know, like, hiding her face, but then something happens that causes her to be revealed. Like, she had a scarf, she's kind of had a scarf on, a hood, glasses, all that falls off, and everyone sees her warts, and it's called Wartwood for a reason, I guess. So, you know, all of a sudden everyone in town is just blown away by her, and just, like, they immediately think she is beautiful, and so she becomes an instant star, breakout star, as the episode entitles. So, you know, and of course Anne really soaks it up, but she at the same time is like, wow, you guys thought I was a monster just a few days ago, just the other day, now look at you. So everyone loves Anne, and the mayor also takes appreciation for her, because as he notices that his numbers are going down, so he needs to look for something to boost it up, and so he decides to take Anne under his wing, or not under his wing, just to use Anne kind of as a PR stunt. And they open up a lot of different places. A few of them were cool. Like, I think one of them was a shelter, one of them was an orphanage, maybe it was a hospital, maybe. I already forgot. Really, you know, the mayor's using Anne to boost up his popularity, and in return, he gives her her own place at the city hall, and pretty much everything that Anne would want. But, you know, that's kind of the whole thing of this episode, is not letting the whole thing go to your head. And interesting enough, like, I mean, Hop Pop is very on board with supporting Anne for this. And he even makes a joke like how, yeah, I mean, if I ever got famous, you would do the same for me, right? Or something like that. And so, you know, Sprig and Polly, they agree to it as well, because, you know, if Hop Pop is up for it, then they are up for it. And Anne she doesn't let it get, I mean, it doesn't fully get to her head, or like to her point where she snaps at the family or says that you're below me, or, well, yeah, okay, maybe. It's weird, because, again, this being an 11-minute episode, you know, you gotta have, you know, they kind of rush it a bit, and but I think in this episode, it works to their advantage, because that way, it's, like, you can do the moments where Anne is like, oh, sorry, guys, I got this thing to do, and then this, so I don't really have time to be with you guys. But, you know, so you don't have her go into the full on, like, you guys are beneath me, what? I got this perfect life now, or, like, I'm glad for that, because, you know, like, and for these first couple of episodes, like, yeah, she makes mistakes, but we've seen that she learns from them. Like, in the last episode, for example, you know, like, you would think that if Anne got into a problem with Bessie, like, you would think she would try and cover the whole thing up, but no, she admits she is willing to take responsibility if it means that they get out of it, and so it's I like the character development with that. And so in this episode, you know, she, by the end of the episode, as you can imagine, learns the lesson, you know, of being a star, and that she has to think about what's more important and who really appreciates her for what she is. And that's near the end of the episode, and we're only halfway through the episode, because after Anne, you know, Anne is getting all this fame, she's getting all this fortune and fans, or as she calls them, and fans, like, you know, you put F in front of her name, fans. It's jokes like that you know why they did them, but that doesn't mean you should have, in my opinion. Like, this was the first joke where I paused the series, where I paused the episode, got up out of my chair, and just left my room, and just, like, thought, what the frick? I mean, I'm not saying it's a terrible pun. Actually, who am I kidding? Yeah, that was a bad pun. So, yeah, every time I hear that, every time I get to hear that from now on, I'm probably gonna cringe at it. And I imagine some of you guys did as well. If you didn't, I'm not saying it wasn't a bad, I'm not saying what, I mean, I get it, I get why you laugh at the joke, but at the same time, I'm like, I just don't like puns like that. So, yeah, okay, we were really off topic. So, Anne wakes up one day, and big shock, her warts are gone, so all of a sudden everything's gone, so, or not everything's gone, like, she knows if people find out that her warts are gone, then she will lose her fame, so she calls the family for help, and they are willing to help at first, or, well, no, they are willing to help all the way through, like, you know, they try to figure out how to replicate the warts, so they find these raspberries in the woods, and so Anne uses that to cover her face, and then she goes to, well, actually, no, okay, so, wait, there's this, okay, this guy, in my opinion, this makes up for the F and pun. They have this moment where they have to sneak Anne out of City Hall so she doesn't get mauled by fans. And so what they do is they hide her in this cart, and they try to sneak around under all this dirty laundry, but then, you know, they find it, fans soon figure it out, and so Hot Pop decides to sacrifice himself, takes Anne's shoe, and, like, tells him to go, and then he sticks the shoe high and says, look, I got Anne's shoe, and then they're like, Hot Pop, no! And then, if you guys hate this joke, I get it, but for me, I loved it. So he turns around, sees them, and says,
fly, you fools. He'll be fine.
I'm sorry, it's so... Again, it's one of those jokes that... A, it's his delivery. Two, it's... I literally just did that. A, it's his delivery. B, it's the fact that it comes out of nowhere. And it's so freaking funny, in my opinion. It's so freaking funny. And, you know, I mean, Polly then adds, like, he'll be fine. Like, I mean, they show him getting just mauled by fans, but you get the joke, and, I mean, I think it's a funny joke. I mean, it was... Yeah, it's stupid moments like that make me laugh, and you know, you gotta have those stupid moments, like when they're stupid, but they're stupid for a good reason, not stupid for a bad reason. You know, like fart jokes or poop jokes or stuff like that. Those are stupid for being stupid. So you know, but after the Lord of the Rings parody there, Anne and Sprig and Polly, they go find the raspberries, they put it on Anne's face, and, you know, she seems to be back, and so she has to give a speech in front of all these people with the mayor, and at first Anne is going on, like, saying, you know, a couple days ago you guys thought I was a monster, but now you treat me like I'm a star, and so, but then she states, like, you know, but I realize, you know, yeah, she spells out the message, and then she takes off all the raspberries, and pretty much everyone goes back to fearing her, and then, funny enough, the mayor is like, what are you doing? You're ruining my reputation of fooling all these people. And he's like, uh-oh. Like, it's like, yeah, if only we could catch every corrupted politician like that. But, yeah, so the mayor kind of falls apart, and townspeople go after him, and... You know, the family, they get back together, they make amends, as pretty much every episode has so far. You know, someone makes amends with someone at some point. And I get it, I get why they're doing this kind of repetitive stuff of making amends, because it makes sense for these characters, because they're getting used to each other. Like, Anne's getting used to the family, and the family, it's a family, you know, so they're gonna have moments where they're gonna bicker, they're gonna argue, they're gonna hate each other, but eventually they'll make up, because that's what families do, for the most part. So, yeah, I mean, in terms of how I felt about the episode, I got a few laughs out of it, as I mentioned, with the Gandalf bit, but, I wouldn't consider this as one of my favorites. I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad episode. This is episode 10. And then now we're officially 1/4 through the season with this episode, because, you know, there's 39 episodes in this season, and we're on episode 10, so we're 1/4 of the way through. Personally, I thought this was a good episode, but I imagine by the time we get to the end of the season, an episode like this is gonna kind of go, you know, under the radar. Like, the last episode with Bessie, you know, we got some story on Bessie, you know, like, so now when we see Bessie, it's like, oh yeah, we know how much of an importance she is to the family, and stuff like that, so she'll definitely be, I imagine, a recurring character, because she's the family snail, you know, so, but okay, I'm talking too much about the last episode now, but this episode, I mean, I like the joke about the acne problem. I've had that. I'm 20 years old and I still have that. I imagine, who am I kidding? I'm probably gonna have this until I'm freaking, who knows. I like the, I mean, again, I thought the fact that this was an 11-minute episode, they were able to tackle the fame getting to one's head shtick pretty well. Yeah, yeah. I got nothing else for this episode. This was, yeah, alright. I really gotta get better at wrapping these up. Yeah, it's weird. So, hope you guys, how you guys are enjoying these vlogs. I mean, I know recently with my content, doing these vlogs obviously is for me helps pass the time with school and stuff. You know, it's nice to just sit down, watch an episode, spend a half an hour watching an episode, and then spend the other half an hour doing vlogs. It helps lighten the stress up a bit. So, but if you want me to react to anything else, if you want me to produce, I mean, if you want me to give like a theory or talk about this show or Owl House or any other animated shows you want me to possibly check out, I will either do my thoughts on the show or I'll do another vlog series. It depends, because I've seen a lot of shows, and so if it's something like Avatar: The Last Airbender or Legend of Korra, that's going to be my thoughts on it because I've seen those shows. Or if it's something like a show that I haven't seen yet, then I might either do a vlog series or I might see the whole show and just give my overall opinion on it. It just depends. So yeah. So all right, that was this episode of Amphibia. Hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next one.